let's do this. Let's get it started. Hello, we're live with another episode of BS Busters. This is the pre-Thanksgiving cast, or the Thanksgiving cast, because I ain't doing shit tomorrow that involves me turning on my YouTube, my OBS. But before we go any further, I'd like my co-host to introduce himself. Go ahead, sir.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. Yay. Let's eat tons and tons of food, hang out with family members we kind of don't like, and uh, you know, destroy them bathrooms
Uh,
afterwards.
yeah, the thing about Thanksgiving was okay. Like, Thanksgiving was always, when I was a kid, it was cool because that just meant Christmas was ever so closer. Uh, you know, so I was just kind of like, that was the only reason I like Thanksgiving. Is this beats, Christmas is even closer.
I like Thanksgiving for the food, but then again, I
Yeah,
used to be morbidly obese, and food is a powerful motivator when you're morbidly obese. Like,
yeah,
oh man, I can eat food. Food. I love
but
food.
yeah, I used to be pretty portly myself not too long ago. So I'm not as motivated by food as I used to be.
I mean, I still like good food, but I have to like pick and choose my battles. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I ate relatively healthy yesterday, today. Like Tuesday, like Monday, I ate for dinner when I was at work, getting ready to go on my vacation. Like I was like, man, I'm so tired. I was like, oh wait a second, I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't eat anything coming in. All I had was a cup of coffee. So for lunch, I had sushi. I had 5 pieces of sushi. Um, small, like a cup of lo mein, some sesame chicken, and some pot stickers, and stir fried broccoli. And it was delicious. I was like,
sounds
oh,
pretty good.
my energy level went way up. I'm like, why is my energy? Oh, because I didn't eat anything. My blood sugar was way low. Um, but now it's like, I don't even, you know. Anyway, uh, Thanksgiving is a excuse for me to eat food. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
food, food.
yeah, yeah,
Because I don't like most of my relatives have passed away, so I don't. It's not like I'm sitting there. Oh my God, so and so's coming to my house. I'm like, no, I don't really give a shit about so and so. I'm here for the food, to eat food,
yeah,
cook food. You know, it's all about the food.
yeah,
Um, because like I said, I don't like most of my relatives, so really give a shit about so and so's gonna be over here. I don't like so and so. I don't give a shit about so and so. Fuck so and so.
damn. Got a lot of bad history between your relatives, huh?
No, I just don't really like most of my relatives. It's
Yeah.
thing is,
Yeah, we don't have to go into it.
I have annoying relatives who do annoying things and then want to like. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna say the names of the people to protect the guilty because they did this shit. I have the type of relatives who will come to your house right for Christmas. Like you'll invite them over for Christmas Day. They'll come
yeah,
and visit you, and they will come in right, and they will come in and they will say, "Oh, it's like I these days I don't do a lot of decorating for my house because I just don't have the energy to take all that shit down. Um, or I have the energy, I just don't want to do it. I'm like, it's good enough, okay? So I'm sitting in my house. I invite people to come over, and I'm like, hey, uh, they come in my house and they start throwing off on shit in my house. Like, oh, well, your tree, you don't have a live tree? No, I don't have a live tree. I haven't had a live tree since I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Any Christmases. Why don't I have a live tree? I'm like, well, because I don't necessarily like picking up all those damn needles. And if I was going to get a live tree, I think it's wasteful to cut down a tree just to have it in your house for 2 or 3 weeks, then throw it away.
Yeah.
Like if I was gonna get a live tree, I would get the root ball, right? Wet down the root ball and then plant the tree in my yard. But you can only do that so many times. You just have a new live tree around your fucking on your property every year, and that's so for me a artificial tree makes a lot of sense because I can decorate any way I want to. It's less of a fire risk. I don't have to worry about pine needles being everywhere. My house doesn't smell like someone shit a pine tree. I don't have to water it every day like I have a pet, a pet that can't get their own damn water.
Yeah.
It's just it's a better experience, all right? But anyway, so they came to my house, threw off on my house, threw off on my kitchen, uh, then destroyed my liquor cabinet, my home bar.
Yeah.
I already told that story, but they did it. I was like, oh, they're like, yeah, we drank all your shit. I'm like, well, it's there to be drunk. I mean, that's why I got it so people could drink it. But
You have to be a piece of shit about it, man.
exactly, you don't have to be a piece of shit about it. And then some of the people were so cheap they didn't want to get a hotel, so they stayed in my house and then complained about the rooms in my house. Now, I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what it is. Okay, in my house there are, let's see, one bedroom in the basement, uh, and 4 bedrooms on the second floor. Okay, there's 4 bedrooms in my house. Every bedroom has a bathroom attached to it. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's 5 bathrooms attached to the bedrooms. Okay, plus there's a half bath on the first level. Okay, if you come to my house and you can't shit, it's your fault. Okay, ain't nobody ain't nobody gonna be in my house and be like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Well, it's your fault if you can't go, because you can't say there's not a bathroom for you to go to. But so they're like throwing off, oh my god, your house. I'm like, look, it's a house. I have shit in the house, just real disrespectful. All right, real disrespectful. So I don't invite people to my house, and when on the few occasions when I actually do go to other people's houses for the holidays, I don't stay at their house. I get a hotel.
Yeah. 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 I mean, problem with family members is they think that since you're family, it's okay to just kind of
Be
walk all over
disrespectful.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're overly familiar. It's like, look, I'm your family, but that doesn't mean give you the right to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Which So aside from my mother, who's cool, uh, I don't, and my cousins, like my second, third cousins, I really don't like hanging out with my family for the holidays. I'm not a big
Yeah.
family guy on those days. I'm like, fuck these people. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my own little personal opinion. I know some people will agree or disagree. Good for them.
Yeah.
But enough about that. Yeah, so for me, Thanksgiving is just an excuse to eat food and shit like that. Have people, go eat some good food. This year, I'm not even cooking. I'm. My mother and I were going to a nice restaurant for a special Thanksgiving menu meal they're offering. A relatively nice restaurant they have here in the DC metropolitan area. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, okay.
Because I don't
What
feel
kind
like
of
doing a lot of cooking. What?
what kind of restaurant is this? Like a steakhouse? Is it like
Mm-mm.
a
It's a restaurant. The big uh hook gimmick behind this restaurant is they were founded by a consortium of farmers. So it's called Founding Farmers. So the food is incredibly fresh because it, it's a direct pipeline from these farms to the restaurant.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they make all types of, like, all their stuff. Their gimmick is their food is incredibly fresh, and
Yeah.
it's good. They've got like freaking fried green tomatoes and chicken and turkey and pot and corn and all types of really good stuff. Like, the food is excellent, like really fucking good. It's like, oh man, this food is delicious. Much better than it has any business being.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. On paper, this food should be terrible, but I mean, it's like any other restaurant that didn't have this pipeline, the food would be okay, but because of the pipeline they have, it's actually pretty goddamn good. So I like it. Anyway, so yeah. But enough about that. It's time to get to these topics. Our first topic is the steady decline of live services. Like, everyone's just, and studios that depend on live services are just not really making it. It's not working out for them.
Yeah, every 3 to 6 months, a live service game is done so. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Um, but yet they're still adamant. They're still adamant about it. It's like, we're gonna continue with the live service games. You will not stop us. We will we will destroy our company
And
in
fire
the hopes
everybody
that and fire everybody in the hopes that these live service games work out.
when it doesn't make money. It's like, oh, it didn't make any money. It's like, no shit. Because gamers don't like live service games. Want to know why? Because all it takes is 1 or 2 quarters of diminishing money being made off of it, and you guys pull the servers, and then no one has anything to play. People who put hundreds, if not thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours of grinding, if they didn't want to put a lot of money into it, and all that just gets unplugged and thrown down the drain. That's why
Yeah,
gamers just don't really give a shit about live service games.
yeah,
Like, oh well, that's. And I know some people are
yeah,
gonna get mad by that. They're gonna be like, but I like live service games. Yeah, but like, these people, like, okay, you want to see a live service game that has been had the shit supported out of it? Counter-Strike 2.
yeah.
People
Yeah,
can still play that game.
that game's been around for a long time.
Like
Like the
10,
Counter-Strike.
15 years.
Yeah, even longer. I mean, even like in the mid 2000s, there were Counter-Strike. There was a Counter-Strike game. So
Yeah, the
it's
original
come through
Counter-Strike,
very.
which was a mod for Half-Life 2.
Yeah, yeah,
Team Fortress 2. They're still
yeah,
supporting that shit. People,
yeah,
if you play those games, you know that you're going to be supported. You cannot say the same thing for the shit we got now. You can't.
yeah, yeah,
Shit. Every other season, Destiny, between Destiny and Destiny 2, they literally dropped support for that first game. And all the
yeah,
progress people made, that you could even carry over the fucking progress between the two
yeah,
games.
yeah.
Even though fundamentally they are the same game.
Yeah, it's and the thing is, and the thing is, they want to, they're trying to, for the new Suicide Squad game. They're trying to hide the live service stuff
Yeah.
because people were upset about that. But again, WB was I think they made an announcement. It's like, yeah, we're all in on the live service stuff.
Yeah,
The new Wonder Woman game's gonna have live service stuff.
because they run that
So
recurrent monetary transaction.
yeah,
You know.
because they these companies keep spending themselves into oblivion to get these games out.
Well, I think it's a case of that, and also they're like the money isn't being reinvested in the games because the games aren't getting better, by and large. You know, like look at the
Yeah,
Suicide Squad. That game does not look particularly good.
yeah,
Like I'm not like, oh man, I gotta play that. I also
yeah,
just don't want to
exactly.
play a game where I'm playing as a group of villains trying to fight superheroes because it's an uneven matchup, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, if you had super villains fighting superheroes, it'd be more interesting. But you have, 'cause I don't even think the majority of the villains in the game. I don't even think they have superpowers.
No, they don't.
Uh,
I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
yeah, that game should have came out like
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago.
Well, like they started making that game in 2018. It should have come out in 2021.
Yeah,
It is 2 years behind the curve, 3 years behind the curve because like live services aren't like it's not a big thing right now.
yeah, yeah. Like it was fine when it was fine when when everybody was locked in their house and they couldn't go anywhere and do anything.
Yeah, but even then, people weren't playing live service games like people thought. Like the thing is, people have even if you're in a COVID if you're in a lockdown or you have a lot of free time, you have a finite amount of time. You can only put so much time investing into one or two games. So making every goddamn game into a live service game is not a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But that's what they keep on doing. They're like, ah, I want some of that live service money. It's like, yeah, but um, this game doesn't really do well if it's made into a live service game. Shut the fuck up. That's what we're gonna do. It's like, okay. And then they act surprised, less than a year later, they're like, oh, we had to fire half the staff that made this game. No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they during the pandemic they also overhired people for various positions that well, I guess they deemed as no longer necessary.
I mean, that's the excuse they say, but the thing is right, okay. Here's why that argument is bullshit. Because these are the same studios who say, okay, why can't we get our games out faster? We don't have enough people to work on this game. They hired a whole bunch of people to get the game out. Then the game comes out, and they're like, oh man, why did this game sell well? We had too many people working on the game. That makes no sense. It's an oxymoron. It's circular reasoning.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that these companies are run by people who are counting numbers. They don't know anything about how to actually create a product. The people who create the product are being creatively stifled in order to create a product that the bean counters in their heads think, oh, this is going to make so much money, not realizing that there is a look. There's only 24 hours in a day. Okay, if you have a job, you're working 8 to 10 hours on that job. Okay, add in a commute, maybe 11, 12 hours. Okay, by the time you get home, you want to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So you only have 4 hours of time to do other shit with your time on a work day. Okay,
Yeah.
so just take 2 hours out of that for, you know, washing, washing up, doing basic household chores, taking out the trash, maybe doing some schoolwork. So basically, you have no free time on those days. On your free time, you got 24 hours. You got 72 hours, okay? You got to sleep, so just take 30 hours out of that, okay? So you got like 46 hours for recreation,
Yeah.
okay? 46 hours. If you have a girlfriend, you might as well just cut that in half right there. 23 hours.
Yeah.
23 hours of recreation time. Okay?
Yeah.
Spread over three days if you work a 410. Okay? People ain't got time for that shit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And not to mention, you can only play one or two of those. And most people are just going to dedicate themselves to one.
Yeah. You can only like if you're really good, you can play two. But generally speaking, people only got time to play maybe two to three games, okay? Live service games. So maybe if you're playing Destiny or Call of Duty, because Call of Duty at this point is a live service game. All right. Destiny or Call of Duty, and maybe one MMO.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's a finite amount of your time you could put into shit. All right.
Yeah.
You say that to people, they get mad. Oh, don't say
And they only, and they want, and they want these companies just, are hoping to get a, a piece of the pie at least. Um, Not realizing that even if you do get a piece, there's still a lot of resources that you have to put into the game,
that. Yeah.
and so you can end up making negative money. You could be making hundreds of millions of dollars, but you can also end up in the end be losing money because you keep happening to update things, create new incentives for people to keep playing.
As you should.
Look at
Because, I mean, if you have a
yeah,
live service game and you're not constantly adding new shit to it to entice people to continue playing it, what's the point?
I look at Fortnite for example. Yeah, we, they have a lot of licensed content in their game, and that stuff obviously isn't cheap. With like, was it like the Naruto stuff, the Batman stuff, the exclusive like, God of War stuff for PlayStation. And I think there was some Halo stuff for Xbox, and it's just, um,
Well, with Tim Sweeney, you also have to factor in the Epic Game Store still isn't making money.
yeah,
You know, like Tim Sweeney was thinking, and that's a nice segue. Tim Sweeney was thinking that what he was thinking is, I'll continue to lose money until we get so much of a market share. We're going to get 30 to 50% of the market share that Steam has. And I was like, in what universe did you think that was going to happen?
yeah,
Especially when you have a game, a storefront that is that is not competitive with what Steam can do.
yeah,
Like, what did you expect? Like, that's some ignorant ass shit to me.
yeah.
I saw that, I was like, this person is an idiot, or at least that's just extreme wishful thinking.
And I think
Yes.
And I think it's just funny, with all these live service games going under, you'd figure these companies would realize, wait a second, man, maybe we shouldn't put all our eggs in this basket. But
Yeah, but it's easier to carry them that way.
that's true, and they're probably like, wait a second, we can do something better. You know, we're Ubisoft or we're Activision or we're WB.
They don't want to do single
Hey,
player games. They don't want to do single
no,
player games that cost, like, once you make a single player game, you can have a shadow group of people working on patches or small bits of content upgrades and shit like that to keep it going, and then hand it over to a secondary or tertiary studio to do like a PC port later on and get a double dip. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They want all the monies, not a little bit. Okay? They want, because if you have, they're businesses. They have to answer to shareholders and shit like that.
yeah, and as long as the shareholders are happy, you know, obviously their profit margins aren't enough. Aren't the shareholders aren't pleased with the profits that they're making, so this is a way to appeal to them.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Um, you know, I understand people wanting to make money. I'm not against that, but you know, it's what's going on in gaming right now is not. This is abnormal. It's not good,
Yeah,
and apparently it's just going to get worse before it gets better. Unfortunately, but
yeah,
it is what it is. Um, but I guess we can move on to the third topic: movies. Uh, we're moving on into movie season where some good movies might be coming out soon.
what movies are you looking forward to?
Uh, Godzilla -1 because I'm a Godzilla fan. I was gonna go watch Wish, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that shit. Um,
Mm,
Now I'm gonna go watch Godzilla -1 because I got to see that shit early. I got a nice ticket on Alamo Cinema Draft House to see it that Wednesday at 9:45. So we will be having the cast a little bit earlier next Wednesday because I don't necessarily have the. Uh, it's a
what?
special presentation pre-showing before it hits the theaters December 1st. So, and the only other way I could have watched it is if I watched it at AMC. But the AMC theater near me is hot buttered ass, so that shit wasn't happening.
What time we're starting the cast next week?
Uh, just seven. It's nothing too big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing too out of place. I don't think. But to each his own.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there's some movies I'm looking forward to coming out. What I'm really looking forward to in December, and this isn't a movie, this is a TV show. So if you have Amazon Prime, Jack Reacher season 2 is coming out. I'm looking forward to that because I like the first one so much. Um, yeah, that first those Jack Reacher movies were terrible because they start Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise is too goddamn short to be playing Jack Reacher. Because Jack Reacher's supposed to be like almost like 7 feet tall, like
Yeah.
6'11", 6'10", and Tom Cruise is what 5'7", 5'8". He's a tiny little man. And seeing him beat up a room full of people, I'm just like, I don't believe you. Tiny little man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, what do I know? I'm just some guy. Um, that's about it. Any movies you looking forward to seeing?
No, not really. I'm not a big movie. Never been a really big movie guy, but every once in a while there's a movie that catches my attention. But
All right.
not today. Uh, let's see. Yeah, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Oh man, I know people have been disappointed by by a lot of the movies that have come out. I know people were. Did you see? No, you didn't. You didn't suffer through the Marvels, did you?
I had a friend who reviewed it, and I was like, I'm just not interested. I never liked Brie Larson as Carol Danvers because Brie Larson isn't really hot enough to pull off Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't really work for me. Like, because like here's the thing: if you're doing a comic book movie, the movie has to be somewhat comic book accurate. And I'm gonna show you a picture of what Brie Larson. Let's see, Brie Larson is Captain Marvel.
I've seen pictures of Carol Danvers drawing. Yeah, she doesn't. She definitely doesn't have the look.
As Captain. Wait a second. Brie Larson is Captain Marvel. Let's see, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel. Here's her Captain Marvel outfit. Now I'm gonna show Carol Danvers from the comics. Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers in the comics. Uh, yeah. So, yeah, so she look a little bit different. Let's see. Carol Danvers is Marvel Comics. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is here, let me screen share this shit. Screen share, screen share. Do I have screen share on here? No, I don't. Anyway, suffice it to say, Brie Larson just is not hot enough to pull off Carol Danvers. She's not a bad looking woman, but she's not built like a brick shithouse like Carol Danvers is in the comics. And I know they're like, well,
Yeah.
that's unrealistic. Let me explain why that's bullshit. Okay, Scarlett Johansson played Black Widow, and her Black Widow was very close to being comic book accurate because in the comics, Black Widow is built like a brick shithouse. Scarlett
Yeah.
Johansson is also built like a brick shithouse. Therefore,
Yeah.
they cast someone. You couldn't find a woman who could dye her hair blonde to be built like a brick shithouse. For
Yeah,
real.
exactly.
Y'all could have gotten the lady who played what's her name? Fuck. Furiosa in Mad Max.
Yeah. That's just asking for too much, I guess.
You could have had some very attractive people in there. No, we don't want to do that shit. I don't want nobody. And here's the thing, okay? Like they couldn't get a comic book accurate they couldn't get a comic book actor someone who was built like She-Hulk. So they did CGI, but CGI She-Hulk still looked kind of like she looked like the She-Hulk from the comics.
Yeah.
Like, as a matter of fact, She-Hulk in the MCU was so stacked. It's like, yeah, I know she'd probably kill you, fucking you, but it might be worth it. It's like my pelvis, worth it. Take me to a
Just by just by
hospital.
snoo snoo.
It's like my pelvis was crushed, but it was worth it.
Yep, death by snoo snoo.
It was totally worth it. No, you didn't die. You went to a hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Your, your, your pelvis has been crushed though, and you ain't gonna be doing nothing for a while. But still, my point behind all this is to simply say this. This shit is ridiculous. That's all I'm saying. It's ridiculous, and it needs to be better. Carol Danvers. I didn't watch the Marvels. Someone's like, "Oh, I heard it's good." I'm like, eh. Here's the thing. I watch movies with two viewpoints. I watch it as a audience member, but I can't help it because I took so many fucking critique and film history courses when I was to pad my grades when I first started going back to school. I also look at movies in a critical eye, and I can just basically, even at this point, even from looking at a trailer, I can see things that just make me worried. I'm like, no, this movie's gonna be terrible. There's very few times where I have been surprised.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I'm just like, I very rarely see that. You know what I mean? But to each his own.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, um, I guess we can move on to the unpopular opinion. Do you have an unpopular opinion about gaming, pop culture? Like, I got to get this off my chest. People need to know this.
Um, unpopular opinion. Uh, the term remaster and remake are not interchangeable words. I was thinking about this a couple days ago because people tend to use the word remaster and remake interchangeably when they're talking about games. I think they have very specific definition. A remake is when they remake a game from the ground up using different assets, a different engine.
Yeah.
A remaster is where they touch up or enhance the original assets and original engine.
Yep.
So yeah,
So if you take a game that was made in Unreal 4 and you remaster it in Unreal 5, that is not a remake. You literally,
Yeah.
because a lot of those assets are shared, and the engine recognizes that. So it basically, when they put that in, the software suite that is Unreal Engine 5 goes and picks the assets that most fit what was already there. So it's not being remade from the ground up.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
if you take a game that was originally made in like a custom engine and then you remake it in Unreal 5 or Unreal 4, that is a remake.
Yep.
It's a completely
Yeah.
different thing. Like it's been made from the ground up. That's why some games that have been remade, it's like, oh, this doesn't play like it used to because it was remade in a new engine completely,
Yeah.
and the physics
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
You
Uh, it just seems like people are. It seems like people are confused by that. It's like, how is this confusing? It seems pretty straightforward to me.
yeah,
Uh,
but no one wants
um,
to say that. Also, just because a game uses low tier just because a game is chasing low tier whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean low tier graphics or it looks like it was cheap to make. Doesn't make it an indie. For me, an indie game means that a small studio made that game
yeah.
for under a certain budget. Okay, so Dave
Yeah.
the Diver is not an indie game. It's an indie style game. It is not an indie game.
Yeah.
Okay, enough said.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's it. I got nothing else left.
Yeah. That's all I got too.
Well, about that topic, my unpopular opinion is this. Always be critical. All right.
Yeah.
Don't just
Yeah.
don't just listen to everything they tell you. It's like, oh, they must be right. Ask questions.
Yeah. Like why the freaking Game Awards has absolutely no standards.
Well, the Game Awards never had standards because it was founded by the Dorito Pope, and
No, the problem. Well, the problem with the Game Awards is that they
yes,
the problem with the Game Awards is that um the people who made the decision uh they just corroborate various different outlets
yeah,
pertaining to what their game of the year is, and this is how they do it.
yeah,
Like, what kind of standards is that?
yeah. It's like we want this thing to do this here, so we're just gonna do it like this. That's basically what it is.
That's what that's why it's so hard for people to take gaming seriously as an art because
Well,
you
I
know
mean, I'm gonna say something that people are gonna get mad at me. I don't think gaming is an art. That's an unpopular opinion for it. Gaming is a product.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I agree.
it's a product. It's now. Does that mean that a game can't have aspects of it that are artful? No. You know, like food can have aspects of it that it's, but you're also making a product.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately the product has to be able to be consumed. You know, and that's where people fuck up all the time. They're like, "Oh no, this game is blah blah blah." I'm like, "Look,
I think there are games that go for an artistic flair.
oh
They
yeah."
just don't sell very well.
But I mean,
They
like,
go,
even when they say this is a work of this game is a work of art, like I'm like, look, bro, or person, whomever you are, like I don't like a game can be well programmed. Like, okay, I think that the original Shenmue you could qualify it as being a work of art, like from a game design standpoint. But from like a game enjoyment as a gamer, Shenmue is not an enjoyable franchise. It's not fun to
Yeah,
play.
yeah,
You know, if you want to play something that's akin to Shenmue in terms of the design, not quite as tightly designed, but more fun to play, go play any of the Yakuza games. They're way more fun to play.
yeah,
All right. And ultimately, you're because the guy who created Shenmue, he's like, yeah, I don't really like playing games. I like the idea of making games. Like he's like a craftsman when it comes to making games, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're making a product that is to be sold. People need to enjoy playing it.
yeah,
I don't know why people forget that. They're like, oh, this game is a work of art. It's a product. All right. But that's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong. You know, I am. This is the unpopular opinion, by the way. Some people would get mad at me. No, it's you know, for me, I consider games to be a product like food. It's like someone can hand you a cake. The cake could be well decorated, like a work of art, but you still gonna fucking eat it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's how I feel about video games. Like, oh man, this game is so well designed. It's like, yeah, but how's it play though?
yeah,
But what's the use of having something that you can't enjoy?
yeah, exactly.
But that's my own personal opinion. Um, so I guess we've moved on to the last thing. Free topic. Anything you want to add for free topic? Anything you're like, okay, people have been talking about this. I got to get it off my chest.
No, I'm good.
All right.
I don't have anything.
Okay, that's the end of the cast. Uh, this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. You will not hear from me until next week. Um, Probably be on Kenoshi's cast. I definitely will be having a cast on my um, on my on my channel, but it'll be early because, like I said, going to the movies after that, and I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Yeah,
Um, Gonna go watch a Godzilla film. I've been looking forward to this. It's been a while since we've had a new Godzilla film. It's about time. So, gonna be looking forward to that. Anything you want to add?
uh, Project Console Tuesdays at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
All right. That's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. You can reach me at Mr. Red Fox BSbuster at gmail.com. Um, or on Discord, which is in the description section. If you would like to get in touch with the channel, once again, I said, you can reach me at Mr. Red Fox BSbuster at gmail.com. That's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace, and have a good night. And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Don't drink and drive.